Well, hi, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. It's great to see you all here. Matter of fact, with eyesight like mine, I'm glad to see anything at all. So, I'm wearing my tweedy jacket today because of the literary nature of our pursuit. I decided to try to wear something that made me look a little scholarly. If you know me, I'm really not a particularly scholarly kind of guy, but I'm going to, my name is Mike Schiermann, and I'm going to serve as your MC today for the very first Central Alabama Performing Arts Guild Poetry Slam. And I'm happy to say that as of this moment, we have 4 poets who have come in and brought their works with them to share with you all today. And we hope that you find them all entertaining and thought-provoking and delightful on multiple levels. Back at the table in the back, we have a few people who are going to serve as judges so that we can bestow some awards to some of our participating poets at the end of the event today. And of course, if we have judges, of course, you know, they're going to be judging on a variety of criteria. And so I've invited Sarah Jackson, who is our judging committee coordinator, to come and explain those criteria briefly. Sarah Jackson, everybody.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today. We're very excited about our first poetry slam. Come in. So everyone will know, before we get started, just a quick synopsis of what the judging will entail. We will have 3 unbiased judges. Unbiased means that we do not have relatives in the poetry slam, or that we did not secretly write the poems you're about to hear. We will be judging on physical presence. This includes body language and poise, how you carry yourself and the delivery, voice and articulation. Of course, we need to hear those words, have them enunciated, make sure that you are loud enough, which the microphone will make much more easy, of course. Dramatic appropriateness. This is the interpretation and the performance of the piece. Did the delivery of the poem match the subject of the poem? And were you moved? How did it make you feel? Also, evidence of understanding. And what that means is the emphasis, tone, the style, if you will, of the delivery. Oral interpretation can be exciting or somber or whatever the written word requires. And then we will give a score for overall performance, which is all of these things put together and then some, kind of the whole package with the bow on top. Our judges also have some professional tips from the National Endowment of the Arts. We want to make sure that they are comfortable with judging and know what they're getting into, and we're all about fairness. Most importantly, we want you to have fun. If anyone has any questions about how we judge a poetry slam, please come see me, or I would love to give you a copy of our rules and you can go over them for future reference. Thank you so much.
Sarah Jackson. Thank you very much, Sarah. Well, there's not much else that I need to go over. I just hope everybody is comfortable and ready to enjoy some poetry. This is, by the way, all of these poems that we're going to hear today are original and were written by the poets that will be presenting them today. And I think that's really quite remarkable. I've been a devotee of poetry ever since I was in junior high school. Probably, you know, I don't know, really probably about 6th or 7th grade. The first poetry I was ever exposed to was when my parents read Dr. Seuss to me as a little child, and well up into my young adulthood. I had trouble sleeping at night, and Mom and Dad would come and read Green Eggs and Ham to help me drop off. They were very kind people. So I've had a lifelong love affair with poetry. I've tried to write some poetry during my lifetime, and it all smells like fish. And unfortunately, everything that I've ever written is really just something that I've heard. It turns out I really don't have an original bone in my body, and that's why I'm serving as the MC today instead of as one of the poets who are the truly creative people in the room. So, without further ado, let me explain to you also that we do have a handful of poets. We have several poets, and we're going to ask they've each brought, I believe, 3 different pieces that they've created to share with you today. And the way this is going to flow is we're just going to invite them up, and one at a time, and each one will come up and bring you one of their poems for your consideration and enjoyment, and have a seat. And then the next poet will come and bring you one of their poems. And we'll just rotate through the participating poets until they've all brought you all 3 of their pieces. So I hope you enjoyed today, and without any more delay, let me bring you our very first poet. It's a person that grew, I believe he was born in Montgomery, but grew up here in Clanton. So he's pretty much a lifer here, and his name is Craig Isley. Make him feel welcome, will you? There you go, Craig.
Thank you. This is based on a true story. I built a monster truck for Jesus to crush all my sins. A monster truck for Jesus. The means justify the ends. Now every day I'm baptized in a holy bog of mud. Gas vapors give visions of a virgin mother's love. Nothing brings him glory like my jacked up long bed Ford. 70-inch wheels raise me 14 feet, so I'm closer to my Lord. Covered in mud but washed in the blood. My truck comforts in the final hour. 'Cause knocking down them pearly gates comes easy with horsepower. Now what would Jesus crush with this righteous nitrous giant? I saw just one set of tire tracks, 'cause Jesus is my co-pilot. Now some people say, Pastor, this is a waste. You could have put money to better use. But I can't think of a better way to praise him than a big block supercharged and juiced. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you.
Craig Isley, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Isley. It takes a lot of guts to be the first guy up. You know what I mean? It really does take a special.
Or stupidity.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but you know. Up next, we have a young lady with a creation of her own. Her name is Samantha Scott. Samantha, if you would.
There you are.
Allow me. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay.
Hope, like fluttering wings of a hummingbird, whispering secrets to the tip-tops of the trees. The tip-tops that sweep the dust from under the moon, the tip-tops that plead with the thunder to stop their shaking, the tip-tops that bend and creak into my window to hush me from another nightmare that happened last night and the night before. Nightmares I would much rather forget. I wish to bury so deep into the ground that when I walk atop them, I will no longer feel my heart quiver. Nightmares combusting and sizzling like an awful chemistry experiment in my chest. Nightmares branching off from trauma no child should face, branded into my heart, sweeping around the edges, withering it down. It is a war zone against myself. I find my heart brandishing arrows while my mind is swinging swords. Most of the time, I find my mind is winning. I am being destroyed from the inside out. They are using their armies to tear down my entire line of defense. The tip-tops of the trees force their way down my throat to wave the white flag, to stop the desperation. The tip-tops of the trees. bringing hope like the flowers that manage to grow in the cracks in the sidewalk, like the suicide notes turned into paper airplanes flown around the world twice. The tip-tops of the trees are hope. They comfort me, cradling me in their branches, feeding me moonlight until I am better. Hope like fluttering wings of a hummingbird, whispering secrets to the tip-tops of the trees.
Samantha Scott, let's hear it for her. Good job. Wonderful piece of work. Up next, we have a young man who has who's brought a few of his pieces to share with us today, and I hope you make him feel really welcome. His name is Mikayla Francis. Mr. Francis, if you please. Right ahead.
A faulty system. The pulmonary system is the concept of your heart and lungs working in tandem, keeping the body warm and the flesh alive. If you remove one lung, it's possible to keep living, but what happens when you remove both? Once I lived a life with 2 lungs, then you walked in. I never realized what I was breathing was not air, until then. The air in my lungs was replaced by your love. In, out. In, I would give you everything, because when you replace somebody's air with love, it becomes addictive. Your love became my disease, corrupting my system with every breath I took. It moved to my blood, infecting my cells, changing myself into something foreign. My only purpose was to be with you. In, out. In, out. Filling my being with your love. If you stop to think about how lungs work, it's kind of crazy. They fill and deflate like greedy bags, waiting and wanting every second, every day, every minute. It altered my chemistry, changing everything about me. Then when finally the fire became too much, you left. Leaving me unrecognizable and charred, my lungs leaked from my chest, and my soul began to wither. Slowly, I'm learning that you can breathe without lungs. Thank you.
Mikayla Francis. All right. And now, our 4th poet for the day. Apparently we have more to bring in as well. Here's a young lady named Miss Maeghan Jeremiah. Make her feel welcome, if you please. Good to see you.
I am not a book that you can open up and read. Flip through my pages and break my seams, laugh at my struggles and smile at my pain, or just ignore the paragraphs where I'm going insane. I didn't invite you here. I had locks around the chapters, but you shattered my gears. The words smeared with my blood and tears, years of me not eating in hopes to fit in with my peers. I tried to fit in the last word before the next page, but I don't fit. You demonetize my truth and share my conflicts, black out the bricks I place so carefully, with a Sharpie so reckless and carelessly, thinking surely someone will have sympathy on me. I can't speak with everybody looking for me to put on a show, to die before their very eyes, to suffer through each and every lie, dyeing my rainbow with bland colors. I begin to wonder if they really believe in love or just the shutters of the closet they push us in. This doesn't justify your sins or fix my wrists. The scars are still there. But don't keep ripping my pages if you are done with me. Just pass me on. Let the next person read. Let the next person be fascinated by my stories of somber thoughts. Maybe they will love my torn cover and taped up hinge. I flinch at any touch. Unfortunately used to unwanted skin, I speak for those who have been through this. I'm sorry you had to feel so unimportant, like an object to be taken and thrown away. I promise you aren't, and one day you will see. Your eyes will be open to new opportunities where people know how to sew. They will fix your torn clothes and wrap you in warmth, giving you comfort through the storm to unlock you from the chains in your core. Throw away the keys to never lock again. You deserve to be free. In this country, people fight for you and me. We are here to speak. We are free to speak what we want to speak. Love who we want to love, and write what we want to write. And I stand up here tonight with this mic, and I won't hold back what has gotten me here. I have shed blood, sweat, and tears to be standing here. I speak for those who adhere year after year suffering in silence. I promise your time will come where you can leave such violence. Hold on for me and speak your rights. Once, twice, however many times it takes. Look, I know this world is harsh and it breaks and shakes. We just have to hop on our surfboard and ride each wave. You will get knocked off again and again, but I know you can get right back up and find your balance within.
Maeghan Jeremiah is her name. All right. And a late addition to the roster. These late additions are always dramatic.
No pressure.
I am very much, as I'm sure we all are, looking forward to hearing from our next poet, the very distinguished Kay Tippett, ladies and gentlemen, Kay Tippett.
This is entitled Thoughts on a Weekend at Camp Asco. What would you say to me if you could speak? What goes through your mind? Only pictures without sound? How queer you must think the world without knowledge of love, yet love comes from you without your knowledge. Can you see me? Do you hear me? Do you know that you're alive? Or at least your body is, but where's your soul? It's almost as if the who of who you are is not there. Only the you are remains. But I do believe you are there somewhere. Are you caught halfway between heaven and earth?
Kay Tippett. Kay Tippett. Thanks, Ms. Tippett. And unless there's information that's not available to me, that is the end of round one. Am I correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Wonderful. Let's hear it for everybody. Round one. And do our judges require a break to make any notes or tabulations at this time? Or are we ready to proceed?
Ladies, are you ready to move? We are ready to move forward.
We are ready to move forward, and it's my pleasure to go back to the top of the roster and bring you once again Mr. Craig Isley, ladies and
This poem is titled Defined. Trumped, got the better of. Trumped, outdone, surpassed. Trumped, defeated. Honesty, trumped. Facts, trumped. Decency, trumped. Truth, trumped. Morality, trumped. Respect, trumped. Civility, trumped. Honor, trumped integrity, trumped maturity, trumped justice, trumped progress, trumped diversity, trumped equality, trumped dignity, trumped intelligence, trumped kindness, trumped hope, trumped love, trumped America, trumped up, bogus, concocted, cooked up, deceitful, devised, dishonest, fabricated, fake, false, falsified, fictitious, fishy, framed, fraudulent, imaginary, incorrect, invalid, invented, lying, made up, misleading, phony, sham, unfounded, unsound, untrue. Trumped up.
Craig Isley. Not easy, Craig. All right. As we move on with another entry from Miss Samantha Scott.
Audience, listen. Let me tell you the story of a girl built from pain and ashes, the combination of an explosion and a tornado. She is a wild one. She wears her scars proudly, letting them map a path for her. She whispers her adventures to the little ears that surround her, saying something about faulty branches and snakes. She would tell you of fake friends that threw hard punches, smiling as she showed you her black eye. If you looked hard enough, you could almost see the flowers trying to sprout from her skin, the scent of honey, always surrounding her. Most importantly, she'd ask if you knew the story of Icarus. Poor Icarus that flew too close to the sun. The people around her would tape these warnings to her forehead, but she would just grin and tell you if he were here, he would help her strap the wings to her back and fly alongside her. This girl will make the earth quake beneath her. She will let you think her bared teeth are a smile. In the melody she sings, there will be a war cry echoing around Earth's atmosphere. This girl is no fragile sampling, rather a poisonous snake ready to strike. Let me tell you the story of a girl who is me and I am her and we are each other.
Samantha Scott. Yeah. Thank you so much. And are we ready for another entry from Mr. Mikayla Francis? I think we are. Mikayla, come on up. Right ahead.
A letter to the next. Hello, I know it might be strange that you're hearing from me, but there's something you need to know about the girl that you're talking to. So I compiled a small list of things that might be able to help you. 1. She has these things about her eyebrows. She'll mention to you time to time. She wishes that they were fuller. It's up to you to remind her that she is beautiful anyway. 2. She loves animals. Baby goats, cats, dogs, anything small that will appreciate any kind of pet or attention. Sometimes she'll try to take them home. Do not be mad. Sometimes she will take them home. Still, do not be mad. It's only a temporary thing and she'll get over it. 3. Music is one of the few things in her life that she loves. Learn her songs and dance with her like no one is watching. Sometimes she needs to be reminded that her own song can never be too loud, and it's up to you now. 4. She's shy. This I'm pretty sure you know, but I feel like I need to mention it because sometimes when people look at her, she's so used to being overlooked that she moves on. 5. Your hands must only touch her with kindness because she can feel your intentions through your fingertips. 5. I have dreaded this day that your hands would replace mine. 5. I'm sorry that I forget how to count when her love isn't still in my heart. 6. Every day of her life she's felt like that she has needed to make herself smaller to fit. Do not make her feel like she has to be small in her presence. Keep that spot sacred. When she is in your arms, allow her to expand into her full potential. She will fix the damage that has been caused in your heart that no one. Remind her that she was never too much. 7. Do not make the same mistake I did. I forgot steps 1 through 6, and I didn't see her for everything that she was. 8. Love her. Please give her the world, and may it be kind to you there. Thank you.
Mikayla Francis. All right. Up next, we have another entry from Maeghan Jeremiah. Maeghan? All yours.
What's the point? A question that has frantically bounced around my mind for years, running around from ear to ear, telling me that I don't belong here. Like when you pause a TV screen. This question springs around the edges of my life. Unfortunately, I've lost the remote. Just a blank screen with one thing. I can't seem to do anything. Twirling batons lit on fire in my eyes, searching for an answer in indignant poems about life, how I'm supposed to be here, but I can't seem to take hold of that concept. A conception I see, but only from my TV screen. I feel far away, but close. I'm hot, but cold, a game I know so well from childhood. When do I know when I'm near the truth? I don't have someone yelling when I'm going south. When I'm going down, it's getting hotter, it's getting harder. Sweat dripping into my eyes, I can't see. I can no longer see the screen. I shut down completely. I awake with my eyes looking to the sky. No screens, no electricity. That is where we go wrong in this society. I was simply looking in the wrong place. Looking for an answer when a question wasn't asked. What's the point is something that can never be answered. We all have different points, different reasons and questions and answers. I don't know the answer to life. But I do know that I'm not supposed to spend life questioning it. We aren't points on a graph placed to stay. We can move from place to place, find passions and maybe heartache. So when you question life and ask what's the point, find peace in knowing there isn't one.
Maeghan Jeremiah. And now once again, Ms. Kay Tippett, ladies and gentlemen. Kay Tippett. Ready?
Teaching poetry to high schoolers. I hate poetry, they say with a pout as we open our textbooks and read it all out. I just say, I know, with a sly little grin. They roll their eyes and we begin. Because I know teenagers let poetry out with a thump and a beat and a rock and roll shout. Without a doubt, as time passes by, they turn to rocking chairs and lullabies, teaching their babies rhythm and rhyme with Dr. Seuss and Mother Goose nursery rhymes. Poetry is the music of the soul, but the truth of this cannot be told. One must live a while to know that I hate poetry is not so.
Kay Tippett, ladies and gentlemen. Kay Tippett. Oh, that was a great round. Let's give them all a hand, huh? What do you say? Well deserved. Well deserved.
It's really tough.
I don't know. Honest to goodness, I have to say that I think the very first poem that I ever heard was the very first book that was written by Dr. Seuss. And it was called and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. And Dr. Seuss, over the years, brought us some amazing adventures. He brought us the north and south walking Zacks, and the Sneetches on the beaches. What a great little morality tale that was. And there was something about a green pair of pants with nobody in them that was absolutely just terrifying to a first grader. I'll never forget the green pants. And then there was the Hammika Schnimmika Schnammika Schnapp. And the guys that unsuccessfully try to sell scissors of seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. How are we doing back there at the judging table?
Excellent.
Are we ready?
Guys, this is amazing. We're ready for round 3.
Very well.
Round.
As we would say if this were a barbershop quartet contest, I have 2 lights. And that means that we're ready in the judging pit and we're ready backstage. And we're ready to go back to the top of the roster for another entry from Mr. Craig Isley. Let's make him feel welcome. Here you go, Craig.
I awoke at midnight with final purpose. I stepped outside into the crisp night air and disrobed, bare skin under glistening stars, and understood. With a last breath, I raised hands to the dark sky and suddenly felt unencumbered and weightless. My body began floating, rising up into the darkness, free. Flying higher and higher, I looked down to see the last of my earthbound chains and let go of all that had held me here and all that had held me back. Upward I climbed with a gaze now only to the outer reaches. I felt no cold, lack of air, as I passed through the edge of the atmosphere. Embraced by oblivion, I felt a strange comfort as all troubles melted away with the hold of gravity. I didn't bother to look back as I flew into the inky abyss. Only the secrets of the universe were ahead of me as I accelerated beyond the speed of light into the great unknown, beyond human comprehension, complete with wonder and hope like never before. The great mysteries would soon be unlocked, all secrets revealed. I was gone and finally happy.
Craig Isley, ladies and gentlemen. That's Craig's 3rd poem. Wow. And now, once again, it's our pleasure to introduce Miss Samantha Scott. Samantha? Right ahead.
When I tell you I see her in your eyes, I do not mean they are the same color or the same shape. No, I see the way you scan the room with perseverance, blinking away an ocean of heartsick goodbyes. When I tell you I see her in the way you walk, I do not mean the swing of your hips, rather the spunk, the certainty in each step. I see her with each knocking of your knees, seldom falling. When I tell you I hear her in your laughter, I do not mean its sound, but the way it feels. It drifts into the soul of anyone near, sprouting roses. It is almost enchantment. With each snort, giggle, or roar, it is happy. When I tell you I see her in your hands, I do not mean the way they bend and creak. I see their tenderness cowering behind your calluses. I see their grace. I see them brushing hair from a sick forehead, scratching a back, caressing the grave. But dear, when I look at you, I see you. She would have danced with joy to see who you've become. Before she gave the world a final kiss, she left a melody of her song for you to dance to cry, to laugh. When I tell you I see her in your heart, it means I see her here and there, near and far, in every place there is or ever will be. Samantha
Scott. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to see a pattern emerging here in round 3. Let's see if it continues, or if we break out of the mold with a third entry from Mikayla Francis.
Two birds, one stone. The text screen lights up. Hey, just checking on you. Slowly my phone lights up the dark room. I try to reach out, but my arms are too tired to lift. I can't remember the last time I ate. Haven't heard from you in a while. I try to roll over, but the shadows hold me in place. My hair is matted, and I can't remember the last time I took my shower. Hey, that party was great. I can't believe you bought shots for everybody. My room is lit up and my clothes are organized for the next 3 months because I know that eventually it'll stop. Hey, I know you did a double yesterday, but do you really think you could come in early? We need the help. Sleep. What sleep? Who needs sleep when you've got all this energy? I pick up my phone and I call my friend crying because there's a man in my room and I can't tell if he's real or not there. We check the house, but I'm the only one there. Two beings are living inside one body, up, down, the cycle repeats and you can't get off. What they don't tell you when you have bipolar disorder is it will cause you to rip your life in half because you've got one side pulling you this way and another side pulling you this way. Like two songs trying to drown out each other, stuck on repeat. Low, high, a never-ending cycle, and all I want is off this carousel. Thank you.
Mikayla Francis. And now, pressing forward with a third and final entry from Maeghan Jeremiah, ladies and gentlemen. Maeghan Jeremiah.
Skin deep. That's all we will ever be. Is it? Just the surface of a perfect complexion, or the small bumps of a much larger infection, seeing a scar that was not there before. Was it too much sun, pounding and pounding down on my skin, just to be golden, to fit in? The rays are tearing at my being, to leave a mark, only skin deep. A cut or slit on my wrist, forming the blood from within, deep inside, oozing out, trying to show the pain and doubt, but do you listen? No. I wipe away the drops of crimson just like I did with the feelings of depression because, after all, it's only skin deep. Each and every application of makeup to cover my insecurities over and over, covering skin with skin, or is it? Covering our bodies with clothes and jackets not to show the problematic solutions of us. Truth be told, being skin deep is just a fantasy. Showing the surface, only the surface of something bigger, much worse. That scar is heartbreak that will ruin my heart, along with unwanted feelings I begin to discard. The marks on my wrist are from the hateful expressions I receive, falling on my knees every day, praying to just die and leave, begging God to take this from me. The makeup that covers my face with glee. That is definitely not me. We laugh at the fact of relatable things, but we are all hurting inside. It's not just skin deep. Covering our bodies for the fact of fear, because girls in skirts are just a rod and a man is the real, so help me God, no matter what we wear, we should be respected. But that could never happen, for a man is in control. After all, that's what I've been told. We need to take off the jackets and cloaks, begin to show much more than surface skin. Instead of hiding it all inside, let's express the love in our eyes. Is it there? I don't know. Let me see and do not fold, for I can't believe we are still here. In this rut our parents dug, in fear new skins need to be shown. Not covered up by the sounds of others yelling, it's only skin deep. Don't dig deeper. Leave it on the surface, wipe away the blood with your tears. Don't show. And don't forget to grab your coat, because they don't want to see what's apparently just skin deep.
Miss Maeghan Jeremiah. And now a final entry from our final poet. Once again, Ms. Kay Tippett, ladies and gentlemen.
One intersection around which evolves life, perhaps in slow motion. One intersection where people change direction. There are collisions, but not with others, only with oneself. One intersection which we all reach at different times. One intersection that some never reach. One intersection to which we cannot return. It can only be crossed once. One intersection at the corner of innocence and accountability.
Kay Tippett, ladies and gentlemen, Kay Tippett. Hey, and how about a big round of applause for all of our poets today, all five. You know, poets are a special breed of creative people. But one thing that most creative people share is a very inward look and a very inward focused gaze. And I think it takes a lot of courage to be a creative person, an introverted person, and to take something that you've created and just put it on display and say, here it is. Like it, don't like it, as you will. And I just really want to, on behalf of the Guild, I want to thank and commend all of our poets for having the courage and trusting in the room, trusting in all of us, to hear what they had to say and to share in their inner thoughts and feelings that were so artfully expressed today. Thank you all so very much. And now I'm going to relinquish the microphone, mercifully, to the head of our judging committee, Miss Sarah Jackson, as soon as she is prepared to take the mic. I don't know. I'm sure that there's some computing and reckoning that's being done back there at the
We're
judges'
tallying
table.
our scores right now, so
All right.
we're almost done.
Very good. Very good. Well, then let me take this moment to let everybody know that one of our upcoming projects for the spring of next year is our annual radio play. It'll be our 5th radio play. In the years past, we brought Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol to the radio. We've recreated The War of the Worlds as presented by Orson Welles over 80 years ago. We've brought Dick Tracy and The Shadow back to the radio from the golden age of network radio. And our project this spring will be that great noir detective piece, The Maltese Falcon. And if you will like and follow the Central Alabama Performing Arts Guild Facebook page, you'll receive notifications when it's time for auditions. And that's just one a very interesting and very engaging and entertaining group of events that we have on the schedule for 2020. And I hope that you'll like and follow the Guild page and stay abreast of what we're up to. We have comedy improv nights on the way, which are going to be just a barrel of fun. We have a variety show on the way, and we have more of what we've had in this room today, some great sharing of poetry. And we're going to open it up in the months to come for not only original poetry, but give people a chance in an open mic in a coffee house kind of setting like this to share poems that others have written that they've appreciated over the years. And I think that's just gonna add a lot of opportunities for creative and artistic expression in our community. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our artists for sharing themselves with us today, and we await the tabulations from the judging table. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. First of all, we knew the poetry today was going to be good. We knew that we have raw talent in this community, and we were very excited about seeing some of that manifested today through your creative writing. I think the other two judges would agree we were not fully prepared for just how phenomenal some of your work was. There were points during today's event where all three of us were in tears. So that's very difficult, especially for me, because I'm pretty stubborn. So job extremely well done. Thank you. They are finishing their scores and we will tally them. We have two groups. We have an adult group and then we have the up to 18 group. So when we award our prizes, keep that in mind that we will have two different groups that will receive prizes. I cannot thank you enough for coming today and giving us a chance on our first annual Poetry Slam. And the Guild is starting a literary guild. So if you are interested in creative writing, poetry, anything that has to do with creative writing, we are getting ready to kick that off next year, starting in January. And we would love to hear your ideas and suggestions. So when you think of creative writing and being part of a writer's guild, what is it that you would like to do? What do you enjoy doing the most? What would you like to see? It can be playwriting, poetry, short stories. We are full of great ideas, but we would love to hear your great ideas. We have a website. It is CAPAGuild.org. You can visit us there, and you can drop us an email at capaguild@gmail.com. So those are pretty easy to remember, and we would love to hear your questions and suggestions. You can also visit us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We should be done in just a minute. Thank you for your patience. All right, if I could have everyone's attention, we're going to do the adult category first, and our contestants were Craig Isley and Kay Tippett. This was close because the poetry was so different and the vibe was so different, and we loved both of them. We had touches of humor, touches of drama, but the winner by a very close margin of the 2019 first annual CAPAGuild Poetry Slam for the adult category was Miss Kay Tippett. Hey. Congratulations.
Thank you, that's so cute.
Here is your trophy. And by a close margin, our second place winner, who is extremely well deserving of the applause, is Mr. Craig Isley. And if you thought those margins were close, guys,
How did you guys ever?
I mean within 10 points of each other all the way across the board. And if you'll recall, we judged on 5 criteria and an overall performance for each one. So for you to be that close and as diverse and different as your poetry was, that is outstanding. Now, our first place winner for the 2019 CAPAGuild Poetry Slam is Mikayla. You just stand up here for a second.
Okay.
Our second place winner is Miss Maeghan. Come on up. And by less than 4 points, our third place winner, who by the way had the poem, your third poem was the one that made all of us weep. Thank you so much. Is Miss Samantha. Come on up.
Wow.
Thank you guys so much. If you have to go, we completely understand, but if the poets would like to stick around for a few minutes and sign autographs, we would also love that. There are cupcakes, coffee, tea, and water, refreshments in the back. Please make yourself at home, and thank you so much for coming today.
What a day!